morning, beautiful people. Especially my co-host Mariah and TJ. Without them, this would not be Thursday Night Live.
I mean, wouldn't be the same.
It'd be a Thursday Night Dead. Hey, my apologies, everyone. My camera had big. It just had a bad day. It did not want to go live today. I mean, I don't blame it.
Thankfully, you are a professional and you had backup equipment.
I don't know about that. This is
No,
how
you-
I feel.
Stephen, please.
Oh, yeah. We just went live and we got a $10 super chat from our friend Steven.
Wow.
What did I miss? Hey,
That
Steven!
one.
Steven, thank you. It's about time. Yeah,
Mhm.
that $10 maybe will help get another camera, huh? Help with the down payment on another camera. My camera that I normally use. You know what? I'm gonna just show y'all. It's a GoPro, by the way. That's the camera I've been using for the past couple years.
Mhm.
And tonight it decided it ain't going live. It's not going on. So I had to pull out my other camera. I got it's a Razer something. That's the cover of it. But anyhow, hopefully it'll hold out. But thanks again, Steven. Oh yeah, I know what I was doing. I was showing y'all some stuff that we see here in Texas, y'all. Ice possible. Drive with care. You know it's cold when your vehicle is telling you it's cold. I know some of y'all weren't expecting this, but it's my outdoor pond. Kind of cold.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. When the water coming out of the pipe is turned to ice.
I was just going to ask if that was completely frozen.
Actually, it was this morning.
Yeah.
So I actually had to turn the pump off.
Yeah, because it wasn't pulling any water. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm just showing you a glimpse of what us Texans are experiencing right now. Not what I would say a cup of tea. They just a plain cup of ice. Anyways, we don't get off the topic too much, but I wanted to share with y'all that experience. So,
Yeah.
and I do want to ask everyone in the chat. Oh, before I forget it, welcome to the replay crew. Thanks for watching us. Thanks to all the moderators, all the members of the channel. And I was going to ask, what day is today for those coming in or that are here? What day is today? Backstage, we already talked about it, but neither one of my co-hosts knew what day it was today. So
No, but we do now.
yeah. Which, I mean, what better time to talk about? Yeah, we got a winner. We got a winner, y'all, in the chat. Someone's pretty bright.
Oh, there's more than one.
Yeah.
Vibes. Look at that.
I know. National Quim Day. Quim Day. Yes. World Quim Day. It is. I didn't even realize it until my buddy Ryan messaged me about it today. So, what better way to enjoy the day than talking about World Quim Day, you know? Now, I have not had time to do my research to see why it was even put to this day, you know, the backstory of it.
Steven says, pardon me, every day is Aquarium Day.
Yes, it is. But when Google says it is, it's a little higher. In my opinion, it's a little higher category.
Okay. You like official. Oh,
Yes. Yes. I like it.
I see. Okay. You're a
Yeah.
stickler.
It's an official day. Now, why did I even work today? I should have stayed home.
You should have. You should have taken it as a holiday.
Yeah. It is a holiday, y'all.
Tell your boss.
I need to go home to Trump. Tell him, hey, the 20th of February is a holiday for aquariums. Come on. The bank should be closed.
Okay, now you're going too far.
And everyone takes a day off, the 20th.
No.
You know, get together with your fish and friends and eat a lot of snacks, watch a lot of videos.
That's what you do on National Aquarium Day is you get together with your friends and eat snacks.
I mean, I'm trying to think what would y'all do on a National Aquarium Day?
I mean, listen, I like a snack as much as the next guy.
The same thing I do every day, get up and go to work, come home and feed my fish and watch them after work.
I do that every day.
Right.
Enough of that. Let's go ahead and put the topic up. And here's the backstory, y'all, of this topic. I asked my co-host, was it Tuesday, Monday?
I think it was Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, I thought it was kind of a weird topic, you know. I asked it, and what's funny, TJ was thinking the same thing.
It was so bizarre.
It was.
There I am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be a crazy topic, and I was like, I literally had basically the exact same topic in my mind.
Right.
So I was sold immediately. I think it was a really good one. We'll get into it, but it was based on an experience I had over the weekend at the Fish Club meeting.
Nice. So was it a good experience, I assume?
It was a great experience. Yeah, it was probably one of the best Fish Club meetings I have been to in all the years I've been a member. 3-4 years, whatever it's been.
Right. Nice. Here in a bit, y'all. I mean, I know it's really 7:30. Actually 7:26. My apology. But here in a bit, I will pull up Fish Link and go through the participant list. But first question from myself would be, how do I get prepared to share with the next generation? Are you always prepared? Or does different situations that you're in prepare you more? I don't know. I'm just thinking off my head.
Yeah. I think we all have the ability to be prepared to do that because we all have different experiences, right? And I think we talk a lot about being authorities in nothing more than our own experience. But, honestly, I feel like that is a way where, that's the way that we connect, right, with people in a lot of ways, is through experiences and sharing those experiences, whether it's sharing the experience live or sharing experiences you've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, inherently on those things that we have had experience, right? So for all of us involved here, we've had experience keeping fish. And so I think it is within us to be able to do that, to be able to share things with the next generation. And it doesn't even have to be the next generation. It can be current generation people who are just interested.
Right.
But I think there's a series of things that you have to do in order to do that well. And that, to me, I think is is the part that takes more of the effort and the preparation than the experiences themselves.
Right.
Because we've all got something to share. It's going to be different, right? So you working with someone in the next generation and me working with someone in the next generation are going to be different things.
Mm.
And the same for Mariah, because we've all had different experiences. We keep different fish. We've found different things that work. We've had different unfortunate situations. And those are all things that we can impart upon whoever it is that we're talking with.
Mhm.
Right. So I think that to me is where the magic is.
Welcome in, everyone coming in. FishHam Link is a little slow right now. It's trying to catch up with all the participants, so I'll give it a little bit time to recuperate and do its thing. I mean, I don't blame it. It is cold everywhere, so
You give Fish Fam Link a little grace on the coldness.
yes. Because hey, us
I-
Texans are experiencing right now, so I feel it. Literally,
I got it.
Hey.
What's the temperature there?
I got a throw on me. My toes are cold.
Oh no, he's got a throw.
What's
Oh,
the
no.
temperature there, Verb?
In the house or outside?
Outside.
It is 32 degrees outside. So that's literally
Dang.
freezing.
We're sitting at
My-
a cool 28 right now.
But it feels like 26 here.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
In
it's
yeah.
not much colder here.
That just wrong. That's so wrong.
Yeah, it's not much colder here. It's 23.
Yeah, yesterday I took a picture of the weather here where I live, and Anchorage, Alaska, and New York. Anchorage was at 32. We were at 33. New York was at 30. That's just wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that Texas would be the temperature of Alaska and New York all in the same time frame?
Mm-hmm. Right.
64 degrees. Where is it 64 degrees right now? I just got so irritated by that.
Is that in California?
I feel like she's in California.
That's what I'm feeling.
Sam says it's 64 degrees too.
He's also out somewhere on the West Coast, I think.
Ooh, that really grinds my gears.
Well, it's not like they picked the weather.
Right. Well,
This is
then
freaking Georgia, though. It's not supposed to be this daggone cold.
I know, but I will remind you of this in July
oh, dude, please.
when it's 94 in Georgia and basically like a swamp, and Austin is like 110, and
Yes.
I do well in the heat. I
Do
don't
you?
do well in the cold.
no. Oh,
Same here.
I wilt like a delicate flower in the heat.
Aww.
I like it. I like it nice and hot, nice and warm, just like my cichlids.
Yeah.
I'm like a discus. I need like a nice 80 something.
Okay. I see. I see. So if she was a fish, Mariah would be a discus.
That's a good question. If I was a fish, I would
But
be
I'm not that
Hatosu.
delicate though. I'm cute. I'm real pretty, but I'm not that delicate.
Ooh. So you're more like a 7?
What?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Just a feisty discus.
Very feisty.
Definitely
Anyway.
a cichlid, whatever it is. I don't know. It's got to be a cichlid at some point.
That seems on brand.
Right. Anyway, Hey, Kyle, outside Aquatics, gifted 5 aquatic memberships. Woo woo!
Thanks, Kyle. That's great.
Ooh, thanks.
Give it to Fishwit, Boots and Cats, Kalish, Matt F, Linda Worth. Welcome to the Vibe Fam. Hopefully
Nice.
you enjoy behind the scenes. And since you're members now, go ahead, leave comments. Or
But
message
not
me.
right now.
Yeah,
Do that after the stream.
whatever. I feel.
No. Come on.
Thanks, Kyle. You're awesome.
But guys, to kind of get back a little bit on topic here,
Yes, please.
I definitely would agree. I mean, especially with the large data. I mean, just the large amount of information exchange we have now.
Mhm.
The way we can live stream, the videos that are out there, social media, YouTube. There's such a large, just just a large amount of information that can be exchanged and retrieved, and it's so
Mhm.
easy to share that with other younger people, whether it's directly in your life or like digital situations like this where you're over a screen. But personally, I know my goddaughter is the only child really that I have in my life at the
Mhm.
moment directly. Um, and she'll be 6 this year, and she's very much interested in the fish tanks. She's not quite old enough yet to really be able to, get into it as much, but she's very much interested, and I really can't wait to be able to start teaching her once her mom is in a different place and is able to keep fish tanks. And then, of course, once Cam and I have our child, whenever that day comes, that's going to be the best thing ever. He's going to teach him how to skateboard. I'm going to teach him about fish and fighting and all kind of stuff. And I can't wait. It's going to be great. And especially because, like you were saying, there's so many different experiences that
Mhm.
we've each had, whether it be mistakes or like me working in retail or you getting interested in fish from your teacher or even vibes you with your ponds and everything that you do. It, there's so many different ways that you can integrate that to somebody that's younger than you. And it's not that difficult to get them interested in it because most kids, when they see a fish tank, immediately they run up to it. They want to look at it. They want to check it out and see what's going on. So
Yep.
it would be very, very much, very easy to introduce that environment to them and just kind of educate them a little bit more to make them even more interested.
Mhm.
Right. True.
But I think you hit on something that was in my mind as well around taking the initiative. I think is the biggest piece. Just taking the opportunity, and it's obvious to hear you talk about that you are legitimately invested and excited in those opportunities. And I think
Definitely.
right, and I think that's, in my mind, that's the big part that we have to get right. If we And I don't care what your hobby is, right? If you desire to include other people in your hobby, you have to be excited about taking the opportunities to share, to educate, to
Hmm.
to find ways to foster the interest, to connect with whoever that person is, young, older, otherwise.
Hmm.
And that to me is where the preparation comes in, because that's probably not natural
Definitely.
to everybody, right?
Right.
And I think it's something that is a missed opportunity when we don't do it. And
Oh yeah.
right, and this weekend was an incredible experience. So I went to the fish club just like I do almost every month, and you came in there, and I helped do a few little jobs at the club, and so I'm in the midst of that, and I took a second to sit down. Sitting like 2 seats over from me was 10-year-old Harrison.
Okay.
He was a brand new member to the club. His father and his grandfather brought him to the club, and he was just over the moon that he was getting to be there to listen to someone talk about fish. There was an auction, and I was selling 50-50 raffle tickets, and he came running up to me as soon as I announced that I was selling 50-50 raffle tickets with his money in his
Nice.
hand, and he wanted to participate. And I had a choice,
That's
right?
good.
I could say, how many tickets would you like? And he would tell me, and I would give him the tickets, take his money, and move on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I said, hi, what's your name? And he said, I'm Harrison. And I said, nice to meet you, Harrison. And I introduced myself, and I asked him, what he was doing there, and he said he was a new member, and then it started a whole conversation, and it ended up we were sitting in the same row, and so we talked a little bit more, and then he bought some things in the auction, and so then we talked about what he bought, and some of those things were either plants that I had or fish or shrimp that I've capped, and
Mhm.
I just took the opportunity to share, and he looked at me at the end and he was like, I'll see you next month, yes? And I was like, yeah, Harrison, I'll see you next month, right? And so it was so rewarding on so many levels. I think number one, it took me back to being the kid in 4th grade. I was his age when I started keeping fish.
Right.
And I saw the same excitement that I had at that age, and so it just became this very natural conversation that we had, and trying to tell him what I capped and what he capped, and Steven says, oh heck yeah, 3 generations of fish keeping. Steven, I have to applaud his father and his grandfather. Neither one of them keep fish.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Neither one of them keep fish. Harrison has 4 fish tanks in his house, and his father fully supports
That's awesome.
he fully supports the fact that he wants to keep other fish in different tanks, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And again, that was kind of the thing that struck me, was he had this network of people around him that were all supporting what he was doing. And I kind
That's
of look at
cool.
it and I said, that's what my teacher did for me. And then my parents, once they realized what I was talking about, that to me was what really sort of solidified it. And it was just a wonderful experience. I thoroughly enjoyed learning about his hobby through his own eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? The eyes of a young kid in the hobby, still learning a whole bunch of things. His perspective was different. It wasn't filtered. It wasn't, it wasn't sort of altered by, time and experience and things like that. He was full of the possibilities. And,
Yeah.
I just thought it was just the greatest thing. And that's really what made me start to sort of think about this topic. And then when you sent it over, I just couldn't believe it, because we both were thinking the same kind of thing.
Right.
Alex
Different
is
reason.
throwing shots at you.
No
Oh.
one from Philly rear engine cars.
Uh-huh.
Alex. Anyways, y'all, Fish on Link is finally back to being thawed out. So let's go ahead and run through the participant list. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right. We got Fathom Aquatics, Fish Wit, Boots and Cats, MNC Aquatics, Skull Aquatics, Showa Smith, Stephen P. 2003, Jeff Kane, Way, Jody P., Brent Lightcap, SC Catahulas, Caleb Shirley, Big Steve Glass Boxes, CC's Aquascapes, Hawaii with Steve, Kalish, Nancy B, Nano Aquarium Guy, Lumi, Lobster Lab, Slip Up Barbecue, DG Company Fish, Laura's Aura, Outside Aquatics, Fish Farm Link, Disc Christensen, Clicks Images, Surreal Steve, Sky the Fish Freak. Wow.
Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, my voice is really shot now.
Uh-oh. And we're just getting warmed up here, pal. So
Yeah.
you better bounce back awful quick.
Yeah, I'll try. I do want to bring up a statement earlier in the live stream that Kalish put in.
Mm-hmm.
Or the older generation, we can all learn from each other. Yes, you went the opposite way I was thinking about, but this is perfect though, because you know what? Most of us right now in the community, fish community, it's kind of like the middle ground between the old generation and the new generation that just getting in. So we can be, we call it, I guess, the buffer, I guess, or the acclimator between the two generations.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are, it's been in the hobby for 50 years ago, versus the ones that are just getting in. So that's good, Kalish.
Yeah, I think it kind of takes, to really do it well, we've all got to figure out our own way to share. And I think kind of the common thing is to think about, there's so many longtime fish keepers. Like in our club, there's lots of people that have kept fish for probably longer than I've been alive in some cases. And the natural inclination can be, well, I don't have anything to share. And that's just not true.
Right.
Right. And I think that's, that mentality is going to breed missed opportunity. Because like I said, I could have said absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the day would have gone on just fine. Right.
Right.
And he would have had a great experience. It would have been different, but it would have been fine. And I just felt like I just wanted to make sure that as a new member, right, that he was welcomed. And I think the other thing is that in our fish club, people know each other.
Right.
It can be hard. I remember 3-4 years ago when I joined, being a new person. They aren't the type of club that sort of stops and sort of, circles around the new members and welcomes you. You have to be the one to welcome yourself, introduce yourself. And I'm okay to do that. I did it and it's fine, and now I know people and don't worry about that anymore. But not everybody does, especially a 10-year-old kid. So I think we all just have to find those opportunities where we can have an impact on somebody's experience. It could be at your local fish store. Mariah, you've talked plenty of times about when you worked at the store, even in the grooming department, and you would see people come in and they were in the fish department and you would give them advice. That was your way, one of at least your ways, where you tried to educate, you tried to make it a less complicated, less challenging situation. Because keeping fish is a challenge, and to do it well, you've got to have a little bit of knowledge, and it's not knowledge that just is within us. And if people don't know where the resources are, it's things like what you do at the store that will help, help kind of make their path a little bit easier. And I feel like that's part of it too, is, trying to help them learn from our mistakes is really important.
And like Nancy said, with the drips, acclimate others.
Where the drips yeah.
So
right.
Which that's a good point, Nancy. Because some people that we acclimate, or others we acclimate, are they discus about acclimating, Are they are they Canadian shrimp? Are they neos? Are they fantosas? Are they goldfish? Depends on what they are. Like Steven says, you can pop and drop them to the hobby, and they acclimate just fine. But others, you gotta maybe kind of babysit a little more, maybe, or
Mhm.
maybe a little bit more full information to them versus just the general information.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's the investment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is, you're investing in the future of the hobby. You're investing in that person or those people that you're talking to, and so I tend to believe that the investment is worth it, unless there's a situation where they don't want to learn. At some point, I'm not going to be bothering them, right? But
Right.
Mm.
assuming that they want to learn, I feel like the investment, because I want them to enjoy the hobby the way I enjoy the hobby. And I
Yes.
don't mean it quite like that, right? Like, I don't want their hobby to necessarily, I don't want it to necessarily be the same as mine, right? So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to develop another version of me as a fish keeper, but I want them to get the same joy out of however it is, right? So Harrison and I talked about, he's got gold dust mollies in one of his aquariums, and he
Mm-hmm.
loves his gold dust mollies. I don't keep currently a single molly, not because I don't like them, I just don't have any. So, we talked about his gold dust mollies, and I was happy to engage in a conversation about that. And so, I think it's going for it to be a positive experience and to learn and to share different alternatives and ways in which that he could do things. He bought a plant, and I was like, "Oh, I have that plant too, and you can grow it planted in the substrate, or you could float it. And here's how you could keep it in the different tanks that he said he had." And um, yeah, right. I think, and it was really just to see the look in his eyes of the excitement of what he
Mm-hmm.
could do was, to me, was like, that was the big payoff.
Right. And while also we're sharing with the next person,
Hmm.
are we doing it in a way to actually encourage them to do research, to actually get into the hobby the whole way, or are we trying to scare them off?
That's what I was gonna say earlier. Is that it's especially important not just to educate them with as much as you know and with your experiences, but to also encourage them and to let them know that your information is not the end all be all. Because
Hmm.
we all
Yes.
know that we don't know everything there is to know about fish keeping, because there's new information coming every day. There's new ways of doing things that people try, fail, try, succeed every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like I said, there's such an influx and such a broad spectrum of information that encouraging them not just to absorb the information that you give them, but to seek out other information is extremely important. Um, Try different things, listen to different sources, and also let them know about stuff that might not necessarily be beneficial to them. Like pages that are just, some people don't like things that are just pushing products or
Yes.
just pushing specific methods of specific ways of doing things, and this is the only way that it should be done. A lot of people don't like that type of content.
Mm-hmm.
So don't necessarily keep them from it, but just caution them that that might not necessarily be the right way about it as well.
Right.
And like I said, encouragement is really good because that gives them the confidence to be able to decipher what information is and is not good information for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
And let them
Mm,
experiment, try stuff, see
yep.
what works, see what doesn't, on a small scale, of course.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And ask questions,
Yes, that
right?
is
It's
huge.
two-way dialogue.
Yes.
right? Nobody wants to sit there and listen to you lecture them.
Mm-mm.
They want to be an active participant, and they want to get the excitement of, what they're interested in doing, and
Mhm.
so you're really acting more like a coach than you are anything. You're trying to help them
Right.
figure out what they're interested in and the ways that they could be successful, and using your experience to provoke the thoughts in them. It's not to sit there and, display all the information that you have gained in your years
Mhm.
as a fish keeper, right? That, in my mind, vibes gets at,
Condescending.
right. Yeah, it gets at the question he asked, right? Are we there to motivate and to excite, or are we there to kind of
Mhm.
discourage? And it totally depends, I think, on the approach that you take. And I think that it's
Absolutely.
really important that we focus on asking the right questions, and
Mm-hmm.
that we focus on trying to understand what interests them, and how can we use our experience to help get them to where they want to be in an easier manner than maybe they would if they were kind of just trying it out on their own.
Right.
Mhm.
And we picked up some more people in the chat.
We sure did.
Ross Baltimore and GLB Aquatics. Welcome in, guys.
GRB from the Friday
Yeah.
in the future,
Yeah, and you know what? He's drinking coffee too.
drinking coffee on Friday morning, listening to us. We
And I asked him
appreciate it.
to drink an extra cup for me, and he said he'll do.
Good.
Thank you. I
Look at
appreciate
that.
it.
You ask, and GRB,
He's right on it.
he will take care of it for you. That's great.
Yeah, Sam said he heard me give a child a lesson about earth movers at the aquarium. One day I was at the aquarium, and Sam was actually on video chat with me while I was walking around, hanging out. We were just chatting, and I was at the touch pool, and it actually happened. It was a kid was asking questions about some of the fish that were there, and the person that was sitting at the chair that was supposed to be the information person couldn't really answer any of the questions, so I just
No.
decided to help him out.
Mm. Well, again, I mean, I think that you've demonstrated that that's something you're very willing to do, is to jump in and sort of offer information and help out. And I think that's the attitude we all need to bring to this. If we really are going to share the hobby and gain people that become interested.
Well, I mean, even if it wasn't for just the fish keeping world in general, I think it comes from a personal place for me, right? Because as a kid and even now, I've always been the most curious person. I've always wanted to know why, how it works, what makes it do this, I've always been the person to ask a million questions, and especially as a kid. And so I just kind of put myself in that kid's position, right? Like if I was that child and I was asking the person that I'm supposed to look up to, I'm supposed to admire, I'm supposed to follow, that's supposed to have this information, and they can't give it to me. For me, that was very frustrating as a child.
Mm.
Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm a kid. I'm gonna sponge. I'm gonna absorb everything. I want to know why, what, how, when, who, where, what's the reason. Like, and so I don't know. I just felt to not jump in a situation like that, or in any situation where a kid or someone younger is seeking information. I think it's only right, and I think it's our part as the older generations to provide that for them.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
it's not only the generation after us, it's also the older generation. There's some people getting into the hobby that are older than us.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And also, since about older generation, we gotta share in a way that we're still respectful to them.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think the word that comes to mind is an ambassador,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've got to act as ambassadors for the hobby. And when I think about that, it's being welcoming. It's
Right.
sharing information. It's trying to impart the interesting parts and help people understand why they would want to do this and why they may want to expand their hobby and the benefits that we've seen personally from getting involved. I think those
Yeah.
are
Tell
really
me all the reasons why I want to go spend a lot of money on fish. No, I'm just
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're right.
Huh?
You're right. Because you know what, Mariah, if it sucked, none of us would do it.
Right.
Yeah, I know,
You know what I
right?
mean? If it was terrible,
But
none
I
of
mean,
us
if
would
you
do it.
think about it, it's really no different than any other hobby that someone would have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, golfing, that's very expensive.
Yep.
Cars.
A lot of different sports are expensive. People pay for the gym every month. People do a lot of different, not necessarily the gym, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of hobbies that people pay for
Yep.
that are very expensive.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Not that bad.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think it's the phrase that comes to mind is that we all have a hole we throw our money down,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's whatever you decide to spend your disposable income on that's what it is, right? And we've all picked whatever hole we want because we find it to be that we get something back in return from that experience or that thing or whatever it is. And so yeah, I think it's important though to explain why it is, right? It's important for me to explain why do I have 7 aquariums?
Yeah.
There are
And why
people,
don't you have 9?
well, right, but the general population thinks I'm insane.
Right.
Like if I tell people, I remember, so last month at the mentoring that I do, one of the mentors was new. And we were just talking and she asked me, we talked about hobbies and I said that, I keep fish and a little bit about that. And she was like, well, how many fish do you have? And I said, well, I don't know. It's probably like 100. And she looked at me like
You're
I
crazy.
was insane.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of have to explain a little bit about how this works in order for someone to go, oh, okay. Yeah, right. Now, okay,
Right.
now I get how that works. Because in their mind, they've got a certain thing built up of what it is. And you
Right.
have to sort of dispel that myth when you say 100 fish. I mean, they think you're like running a fish swap meet or something like that.
Right. Right.
It's like, nope.
Yeah. And she's probably thinking, what rock did you hit your head on? And how big was that rock you hit your head on?
Right. Yeah.
That's funny. I was explaining to somebody one day about the 150 gallon, and they don't keep fish or know anything about it really. I was just kind of explaining like what I have to do to get it ready,
Mm-hmm.
and talking about refilling the silicone and everything. And they were like, "Oh well, I mean that doesn't sound that big. 150 gallons, that's not that big, right?" I was like, "Huh?" I was like, I can fit inside it. I can get in and sit down, put my back on the glass and stretch my legs out and not touch the other side of the glass. What do you mean that's not that big? And she was like, well, I mean, it shouldn't take you that long to put the silicone down, right? I was like, no, you would think that, but no, it takes a minute. I was like, that's why I have to redo it now because it took me too long to get to the other side. So by the time I went back to that side to peel the tape started pulling the silicone up with it, and it just was bad.
Oh gosh, that's what happened.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh no.
because I put the painter's tape on it so that way it would give me a
Yep.
nice clean line. But the tank is so big that by the time I got back to it, it was too late.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, so now
Yeah.
I have to scrape. Not only do I have to re-scrape the silicone, but I have to try to scrape the rest of the painter's tape off too. Mm.
Oh, because it's been on so long. It's
Right.
bonded. Yeah.
That'd be a video in itself.
Would be.
A video, shoot, that'll be a doggone series.
Hey,
Even
there you
better.
go. Series,
Even better.
5 videos, and yeah,
Yep.
let's go.
Five videos on Mariah's channel in the next 5 weeks.
Yep.
It's just gonna be silicone flying everywhere and me out of breath.
That sounds like something I'd watch.
I was gonna say that sounds like the makings of a perfect
Oh.
video right there.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
Uh-uh.
oh no. Oh no.
I would even sit back in my recliner, drink my favorite beverage, eat popcorn.
Rewind.
That'd be perfect.
Yep. No.
Rewind.
Yep.
Delete.
Okay. all right.
Yep.
Rewind. Delete.
Hell, I thought I was getting a perfect video coming up.
Mhm. Nope. No. Mm-mm. Can't unsee that one. Anyway, Steven says, gatekeep everything, get out of my fish room.
Bill has yeah, that's a good point, Steven. When you're sharing with the next person, I know there are people in the hobby that do gatekeep. I know that, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's something to think about. Why are you gatekeeping? What's your reason behind it? Now, me personally, I'm not that kind of guy, so maybe that's why some people don't like me, because I'm too honest. I say everything I know.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like you, though.
Besides Vibes, that Vibes guy, he's crazy.
Well, you know.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, welcome in, Koi Pet and Zed's Place. Good to see y'all.
Nice.
There you go, Alex.
Oh
What?
my, you do that incredibly well.
Okay, Alex, you ain't gotta put me on the spot like that. Okay.
Huh.
Listen, listen, you know what? How about this?
Hmm.
How about this? I'm not off again until next Sunday. Not this Sunday coming up, but next Sunday
Okay.
is my next off day.
Uh-huh.
We can meet up. We're gonna meet up. Come on over. We're gonna reseal this thing. Okay. How about that?
I think it's done. Here we go.
Yeah. If only I had a friend that close that could help. That would be nice. Members only.
Lumpy Dog says, share, yes, but not tell them how they must do it in very great detail. Some lessons are learned in person. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever want to see somebody like unnecessarily struggle, but there's also an element of they shouldn't be doing the hobby as my hobby. They should do it as their own,
Yes.
with my suggestions and guidance to help them. You know, I don't want to leave them completely to sort of sort everything out, because that's how bad things can happen. But yeah, I think that for me, there is satisfaction in figuring out the challenges. There is satisfaction in that success, right? That thing that I struggle with, that I work and work and work, and then it all of a sudden it clicks and it makes sense and things fall into place. So yeah, I don't think we want to deprive people of feeling the accomplishment.
Right.
But It's just it's like Lumpy says, it's to share and maybe help with some of the bigger the phone
My
fell
bad. I dropped
fell
y'all
out of
on
the
the
chair.
We went on a roller coaster ride, y'all. That was an
Wow.
unexpected twist.
My bad.
It's okay. We're good.
And that was totally free, y'all. You only had to pay for 1 penny for that entertainment.
By the
Welcome
way,
to
y'all,
Lumpy
I don't
Dog.
know if y'all know this or not, but Garcia turned 54 yesterday. Woo! Happy
Woo!
birthday.
Oh, no kidding. Happy birthday to Birdo.
Drop the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped the mic and the camera. Shoot.
Hey, Lumpy Dog said let's liquor before the stream.
This is
might
water,
help.
first of all. I don't drink no liquor.
Water.
I drink wine every once in a while. I don't drink
Those
no
guys
liquor.
got water in their glasses.
Yeah. That's what
Nah,
everybody said.
that was my younger days. I don't drink liquor no more.
Not in your old age.
Mm-mm. Not in my late 20s.
Not in your late 20s, your old age of the late 20s.
Water
in my
plus.
ripe old 28.
Anyway, sorry, that was a side note.
Dennis calls it water plus.
Right.
Yeah.
So, since we talked about how to share the next generation,
Yep.
do you feel like we are actually prepared to do it on every occasion, or are we still too shy to be willing to welcome the next person in?
I mean,
I don't know about shy. I mean, I think we're pretty pretty okay with sharing information. I mean, look at what we're doing now, you know. Even everyone in the chat, I think most of us in the community are pretty good with exchanging of information. And if one of us has a question for the other, I don't think any of us would deny someone the information unless, you know, we just don't have it or don't know. Obviously, we're all willing to help each other out because it's not, you know, it doesn't cost you anything. And it's a way to help keep the community connected and keep the community growing.
Yeah. I think we are all prepared, provided one thing we haven't talked about.
What's that?
Provided that you are very willing to say, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a good one.
And this happens in all facets of life, right? I'm not just talking in people sharing about this hobby or any hobby. It happens in all facets of life.
Right.
There is some element of human nature that inherently many people are reluctant to act like they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest mistake that we can make. I think it's important to be humble and willing to admit that, because that gives you an opportunity, right? There's, you know, I think people are worried about seeming, you know, maybe silly, but it really is an opportunity for you then to go figure it out. Because you can say, well, geez, I really don't know, but let's go figure it out.
Yes.
That's an opportunity to
God,
share.
I use that in customer service all the time.
Right.
If someone asks you a question, you know what? I'm not really too sure about that, but let's find out together.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Right.
It's a great education opportunity.
People, there are people though, Mariah, that can't do that. They can't bring themselves to not seem like they've got all the answers. And I want to encourage everybody. Yeah. I want to encourage everybody to drop that, right?
Right.
And if you don't know, say I don't know. But then Mariah, like you said, it's an education moment. And you know what? The best part is it's an education moment for both people.
Mhm.
Because when I say that, it makes me smarter because
Mhm.
I can learn that information and add it to the tool chest of information that I've already got with me through my years of keeping fish. And that person now had whatever their question was, they've learned it too, and they can now share it with the next
Right.
person, right? And
Right.
so that's how we have to think about it. We've got to be humble
Definitely.
and willing to admit, right, that this is just, it's not our expertise. It's just like, you know, again, I get questions from people all the time, and you know, I don't keep saltwater fish currently. I know literally nothing about it other than the very bare basics and the fact that, you know, the fish are beautiful, right? I can name some of the fish and all of those kinds of things, and that's it.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be the first one to say, listen, I don't keep saltwater fish. I really don't know how to help you with that. But if I did, here's, you know, if I needed that information, here's where I would go.
Yeah, I'll go over to Gina's Briefs channel and ask her
Right.
because she'll tell you all the answers.
Right. There's so many different places that we can send people, or again, you can say, well, let's take a look, right? Let me pull out my phone, which I carry with me darn
Right.
near everywhere I
Yep.
go. And let's take a look and see what, you know, a few different sources say about this, and see if we can find the answer. So yeah, I think that's really, really important.
I love that. It's not so much this is how it's done, more like this is what's worked for me.
Yep.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. That's in my mind, that's the verbal way of saying what we've talked about many times before.
Mhm.
Around we are the authorities in, the only thing we're authorities in is our experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I think for me it's go ahead,
Oh,
Mariah.
sorry, Todd. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just saying back on what you were just saying a moment ago. Like the question that someone asked you, you know,
Mhm.
it may be a question that you might not have posed to yourself or may needed to know.
Yep.
Like you were saying, because you don't keep saltwater fish, so you might
That's right.
not need to know. Well, can I keep this specific fish with this set of coral, or can I do this or that?
Right.
You wouldn't need to know that, so you wouldn't have seeked out that information.
Correct.
But like you said, it's something that could benefit you maybe in the future,
Mhm.
or even if it doesn't benefit you, you still have added that new piece of information to your log and could possibly help someone else in the future.
That's right. And we strengthen the hobby collectively because of that. In a small way. It's not like we revolutionized anything, but in a small
Right.
way, we made the hobby better. And that, I think, is the true mission, is to grow the hobby and make it better, even in tiny, tiny ways.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And just because something has worked for me does not mean that I have a closed mind to new ideas. Come on, bring it to me, because the idea you bring to me might be 99% better than what I've done. So hey, let's talk about it. You know.
Yep.
The only reason I haven't changed it because no one has brought me a new idea, or I haven't thought of a different way to do it. You know.
Correct. Yep.
I'm so sorry. I'm so boring.
Oh, no, you're good. My bad. That's I'm just
She had an early day.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Yep.
And for those who don't know,
yeah, the life of a mobile dog groomer is not an easy one, and we respect that.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's for the strong.
No, this is not for the weak at all.
No. Well, if there's one thing we know about Mariah, she is strong.
Yes.
I've been trying.
I have a question for y'all.
Huh?
If you don't know if you're a strong person or not, become a dog groomer. that would show if you're a strong person or not.
Don't do that. Don't listen to him. Do not do that. That
No,
is not good advice.
not good
If
advice.
you don't know if you're a strong person or not, do not even attempt it.
Okay.
Don't do it. If you ain't got no patience, don't do it.
Okay.
Mhm. So
I mean-
what sounding actually in most hobbies out there, you gotta have patience. Otherwise, you're not gonna be in the hobby for too long.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, let's be clear that every hobby out there has its stuff, right? It has its challenge or its not so glamorous parts, and you've got to be okay with that.
Mhm.
You have to be able to take those sort of tough parts, right? And so, for racing, you don't have to, but I think a part of it, unless you're going to spend an exorbitant amount of money on maintenance, you're going to do a lot of the work on the car yourself.
Right.
If being in the garage between events bothers you, that's going to impact your experience
Mhm.
in doing that. And there will be some people that will say it's just not for them because of that. And so I think it's important to be realistic of the parts that aren't the glamorous fun parts. Not everything in fish keeping is sitting in front of the aquarium and just watching the fish, after you've fed them.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Regardless of what Vibes Junior tells you,
Exactly.
there is work involved, my friend.
Mhm.
And you've got to be okay with that.
Right.
So,
And for those that don't know, Ed is trying to go live stream after this.
yes, I
in
saw
about
that.
10 minutes, y'all. So,
Yep.
and for those going over there, hashtag this cold weather has got to go.
Oh, that's a big hashtag.
Hey, I had other words, but some of them weren't proper, weren't family friendly. So I had to.
You got to take the long walk around the block on that one.
Exactly.
Hashtag cold is bleep.
Cold as bleep.
Hashtag cold is bleep.
See, you know where I was going, but I was avoiding it. See, I took the extra block.
Just put bleep, People will they'll get it. They understand.
Oh, welcome back, Sam. We missed you. How you doing?
Oh, had to take a little music break. Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Because that Vibes guy was getting a little obnoxious. I don't blame you.
Well, that's just terrible.
Hey, it is what it is.
A little greedy.
So
Nobody's finna feed you.
To wrap this up, we talked about the older generation, the newer generation, but have we talked about the generation that we're in? And because some of us, say, for instance, a person that's been in the hobby for 5 years that meets another person that's been in the hobby for 5 years.
Yep.
How do you communicate?
Well, you communicate from
talking.
Well, yeah, no, I think he's asking a slightly different question. But yes, you're yes. I will give points on the board for Mariah for the answer for that one. She wins on a technicality.
Yeah.
But I think. I think I would lump current generation and older generation. Well, no, I don't think it's a generation thing. I think it's experience thing, right? So people, let's go for same generation, right? People that have had relatively similar years of experience. The basics, hopefully are you would think are similar. Let's say someone who's really into fish, or two people really into fish, they both are part of a fish club, they've kept a series of different species. A lot of the basics are going to be similar, and they'll have that base knowledge. So your questions for someone who's got that base level of knowledge, and the things you're going to share are going to be sort of that next level, right? And so there, I think it's, how do you expand each other's hobby? Almost like hobby, it's not, I don't really mean vocabulary, right? But like the hobby vocabulary, the expanse of experience and knowledge. How do you do that to kind of challenge each other to do more, or things like that, right? It's different than me talking to 10-year-old Harrison, who still is quite new, 4 aquariums, just starting to figure stuff out. That's a different conversation. And so I think that what I really like, so I think you stumbled into something that is another point that none of us raised, right, is around meeting people where they are.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that, to me, that's the question within your question that you just posed is, how do we ensure that, we're relating to people in a way, or we're communicating in a way that they can relate to, and that's by meeting them where they are. So it's to understand, what's their level of experience, what have they kept, like fish wise, to try and help them fill in some of those gaps.
Yes. Hey, welcome in, Buddy Viper.
Hey, Ivy.
But here's a way you could do it, y'all. Go ahead and become friends on social media, and then start doing live streams like Mariah and TJ does every week.
Oh, isn't that interesting? If you think back, Vibes, on all of the topics the three of us have done in the last year plus, how much of it has required us to go out and do research because, it was a topic that maybe had a scientific sort of angle, right? Mariah went and when we talked about biotopes, she came back and she gave the definition of what a biotope is, right? And I think there was myself and a lot of people in chat also that were kind of just not expecting that to be what we were talking about, right? And yeah, I think it's interactions like this that we have accidentally, right, without realizing it, I think we have collectively, the three of us, we've sort of done that to each other, right? We've pushed each other in ways to learn new things, to research topics that maybe we had never thought of,
which is actually a good thing. So in other words, hey, for those that are lurking and watching, go ahead and start maybe post an idea on social media if you do regularly. Post an idea that you haven't thought about or you haven't looked into.
I think that's how learning happens, right? Mariah made the point earlier of being curious. That's a huge piece of it. If none of us are curious, then it's not going to bring conversation. It's not going to bring, the research. All that stuff doesn't happen. And so, yeah, I think it's really about being curious and being curious about others. Oh, I see this comment from Curtis.
Yeah.
After the stream starts what the topic is.
Hey, Skull. Normally on Saturday Night Vibes, there usually isn't there's been a few topics come up, but normally there isn't a topic.
So he's right. Basically, you come up with a topic as you're hitting the start button on Saturday
Yeah,
night, and
yeah.
you catch him completely off guard.
Yes, yes. But see, some of
All right,
those
y'all, we
topics.
got 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Oh, all right. In that case, I'm gonna just shut my mouth.
I was gonna say we are jabbering on here.
I ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Now, I was gonna say some of those topics on Saturday Night Vibes
Hmm.
come to me.
In a dream.
Yeah,
I was kidding, but okay.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyways, y'all, before we head out of here to go to watch Ed tonight, Mariah, what you got?
Same as always, y'all. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be back this week. Sorry about last week. I had a little bit of an issue going on, but everything's all right now. And thanks to everybody in the chat for watching us, hanging out with us tonight. We love y'all and appreciate y'all as always. And of course, as I end every live stream, treat other people how you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And may God treat you how you treat animals and elders.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, TJ?
What are you gonna say, Skull?
I was. You don't hear that?
Uh-huh.
See, I saw a skull in the chat on my
Yep.
laptop.
Yep.
Ew. I'm screwed, y'all.
Oh. Oh. All right. Well, we'll deal with that at another juncture. But thanks everybody for being here. We really we enjoyed having all of you here as usual, and thanks to you guys for entertaining a really fun topic tonight. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. And thanks TJ and Mariah for putting up with my nonsense every week. And anyways, hopefully everyone's camera stays not shaky. Anyways, go ahead and have a wonderful weekend and stay warm and safe out there, y'all.